Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Veterans Academy here in the Presidio. And I want to thank our Veterans Administration. How you doing, vets? Good to see you. Oh, gee. And we're here to reconfirm our commitment to our vets. And I'm thankful to be joined by Patrick Parks, Alfred Akanibo. All right, that's close enough, right? Mark Brashear. Thank you, Mark, very much for joining me. Uh, this Presidio has, and this site has been a very successful model of housing, affordable housing for our veterans, and it has been a part of a network of housing that Bevan and I worked on. Now it's Sam Dodge. Bevan gets to rest a little bit, so he's out there in the crowd laughing. But as our homeless czar, I want to say thank you to the staff and working closely with my Office of Housing and particularly focus on vets. And I know that Veterans Day is around the corner and we have more news to share as we confirm and reconfirm our commitment to end chronic homelessness for our veterans by this year's end. And I want to say thank you to President Obama and the First Lady, Mrs. Obama, because both of them had challenged many mayors across the country to make sure that all of us mayors would do what we can to end chronic homelessness for our vets, and we are going to do that here in San Francisco. And I want to thank our good partners, Swords of Plowshares. Michael, you have been a wonderful agency to work with, and I know we work together on places like Homes for Heroes on Otis Street. We are working on residential hotels like the one Bevan and I and you worked on at Kearney Street. And I think that's yet again another great model. And today we are identifying that we have about 270 homeless veterans that we're going to house by the end of the year. We are already identifying housing units, but we're also going to be asking for more help. We're going to be asking help from our federal government as we need to make sure that those vouchers that our veterans get have the value that is reflective of the kinds of housing costs that our vets are facing. And even though we have perhaps enough of these vouchers to go around, they don't yet reflect the high cost of living. And that's why we're advocating with HUD and the federal government to increase their value so that this becomes a more valuable thing. And the other part of it is to request that we have a deeper commitment by our property owners in San Francisco. We have great people who have served our country that have possession of these vouchers, and they need homes. They need apartments. And they need places that perhaps are being kept off the market, and we want to make sure that we ask a broad venue of property owners, landlords in San Francisco, if not the Bay Area, to assist us in locating these units for our fine veterans. This is what we're announcing today, but it begins with our own city's commitment and with my personal commitment. As the son of a vet, I want to make sure that I honor my father and his service by honoring the vets right here and treat them as if they were my own kin as well. And we can't do any more and do better than treating our vets as if they are our own family, because they have demonstrated their sacrifice for the country, and it is our role to make sure we honor them. And it's not just housing. In our city, when we welcome vets in, we do it in a holistic way. There are services that are invaluable to them. A lot of issues have arisen for many of our vets that we've identified over the time, and we want to provide them with good health services, with good job placement, and with good job training. That is why our office, in concert with our homeless czar, created a jobs portal for our veterans so that we can have one stop. That is also why I'm working with trustees like Alex Randolph at City College to make sure that we make a connection to those that are returning to school through City College and work with them as they get the training and get the jobs of the 21st century. We want to be there with supportive community-based agencies. All of our training agencies have spots for veterans to make sure they're convenient and that they're accessible, but also that they're effective in giving job training to our vets. Ultimately, I want our vets to make sure that they're working in the 21st century industries that are indicative of our success as a city. Healthcare industries, big economic driver. Why not have more vets in our healthcare industry? In our tourism and hotel industry and culinary industries, world's best. We're hosting the 50th Super Bowl. Why can't we have veterans in all of that tourism and making sure that they're partying with us as well as working and earning good jobs? In our technology industry, of course vets can help in our technology industry. Why not? And this is what we're doing with academies like Tech SF and others that are recruiting veterans and young people to work together, make sure they have the job skills. And then we are creating in our city a manufacturing sector that hopefully reflects the kind of commitment we did for a lot of good men and women in the past. That is making things with your hands. And this is something, again, that we want to work with City College in the local manufacturing, whether it's a brewery, whether it's candy or chocolates, or one of my favorite, ice cream. You can make ice cream, can't you, Vets? Of course. You can make my favorite. 1 scoop for you, 2 scoops for me. But I want to say that in all of our industries, we want our vets trained, we want them ready, we want them able, and we will advise our employers that you have a very great pick in picking a veteran for the jobs. We will advocate for you, and we will make sure that you have every chance of success. Ultimately, though, that housing is one of the most important things. That's why we have a crisis going on here in our city, and we want to make sure that out of this crisis, we emphasize the needs for people who have already sacrificed for our country, and that is getting homes for our veterans. We have more to say when it comes to veterans that are homeless. We want to make sure that they're off our streets and on to warm housing. That's why we're securing these long-term leases with our residential hotels. But we want to actually take over these vacant hotels and then redo them, rewire them up, repaint them, have them all with new facilities and new appliances, just like 250 Kearney Street. It was expensive, but it was darn worth it, because you should see the smiles on the faces of those that are living right there, because I don't think they would be prouder when they walk out and they're in the bustling center of Kearney Street and they're in the center of where everything is happening, and they can get a lot of good contacts right next door in the restaurants and in the industries that are downtown to get the jobs that they want. These are all the things that we're doing. We're also building new housing for our veterans. How about new housing right in Mission Bay? We've already dedicated and broken ground. Brand new housing for our veterans. I'm so proud of that. I'm proud of working with our Mission Bay residents because they embraced this idea right from the get-go. So our technology companies and our bio-life science companies, they have welcomed our veterans in there. We'll build more. We'll rehab more. We'll make sure that we preserve the housing that veterans are in right now, and to make sure a place like this gets a long-term history in this city. And we will work with our Presidio Trust to make sure they honor that as well, because I think of all places, and whether it's downtown, whether it's Otis, whether it's in Mission Bay, the Presidio has extra meaning, because this was the place where a lot of people in our history took off to protect our country, and they ought to be welcomed and come back forever. So thank you, veterans. Thank you for the administration that is working with us. Thank you to our community groups. Thank you to our homeless staff and our outreach staff and our service providers. Thank you, Sam, for your leadership that you're taking on now in fulfilling some big shoes that Bevan has glee in taking a rest from. But most importantly, to each and every one of our veterans, thank you for your sacrifice and service. And I have some gifts for you here today as you move in. But I want to welcome up here for a little bit of discussion about his life and what this means to him, and that is, of course, Patrick, who's coming into his unit today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, we're really excited about moving into moving into the Veterans Academy today, and I just, my dog and I are going to be moving in. I just wanted to say thank you to people towards the Plowshares, the mayor, and all the people on his staff, and the people at Hope House, and everybody who has been involved in advocating for veterans in this city and in this country. I am truly grateful for this opportunity, and I thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Patrick. And you and Alfred and Mark, you are just welcome to these welcoming baskets for your units, and they have some good essentials there, plus stuff you can munch on as well as use. A great partner in our city, and one that I cherish. The Swords to Plowshares has been an incredible partner because you're on the ground, you're in people's lives, you're advising us on not only the issues that are faced with, but you're dealing with it on a day-to-day basis, and that is an invaluable experience that we have to have in central government. That's how you're going to keep us on track. Michael from Swords to Plowshares. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I don't know what else to say, Mayor Lee. Like, covered everything about veterans and the history and you covered it all, Mayor. That's geez, what can I say? I will say that this building, former military base, it really typifies and exemplifies Swords to Plowshares, right? I think about it. Sword, the military base, to a place where people are healing. Former soldiers are healing and preparing themselves to live independently and having housing and a full service response to that. And it's just magical when you could do things like give a veteran a key to their own home, right? They have a home, help them with jobs, help them with benefits. That's really a key. We've been here since 2000, and I always said that this space, being able to step out here and take a deep breath and look around. So you have Chrissy Field here. You have one of the most beautiful spots in the world here. I mean, that's worth several therapists. I don't want to offend therapists here in the crowd here. But I mean, just being here, just clearing your head and just taking a deep breath and feeling alive, it's just great. And I think it really made a big difference with our veteran community here. And, just having the backing of Mayor Lee and his commitment, because that's what it takes. It takes a tremendous, a serious investment from the federal side with the federal subsidies that made this possible. It takes the Veterans Administration. It takes the San Francisco Housing Authority. It takes Hope. It takes a Hope House, the Hope Office. It takes all the hardworking people. That's how these things happen. I mean, it's just tremendous work. But at the end of the day, the veterans are there, and you need to have services on staff, on site, to make a difference in their lives. And I think that's what we've been able to do, again, with all this help from the city. So it just typifies Swords to Plowshares. We're really, really grateful, and onward and upward. Thank you so much, really. Thank you, Mayor Lee, really. She's great remarks. Super. Thank you. Super.
All right. Okay. Wow. Wow. I get to give the keys to each one. Okay. Alfred, welcome to your unit here.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Mark, welcome to your unit.
Thank you, sir.
You're proud. Thank you. Thank you. Patrick, welcome to your unit.
Thank you very much.
You and
Riley.
Riley. All right.
Thank you very much.
So we're going to take a little tour. All right, Mike. Thank you.